Welcome to Eye on St. Lucie. I'm Carrie Patrick, your host, and today we are going to be discussing early childhood education. Early childhood education is so very important to one of our key focuses for this year, and that is student achievement. The work that we do to positively impact children at the very early ages of education are so important to their future successes in academic world and in the world of work. Joining me today are two experts in the field. I'm very happy to have Dr. Mary Huffstetter here today. Welcome.
Thank you.
And Miss Cassie Dillard. Both of you work very, very closely with our Age 3 to Grade 3 initiative in St. Lucie County. And more importantly, what you've done within our district to reach out to other agencies has definitely spurred the effort to impact children positively. You work with the Early Learning Coalition and Head Start, just to name a couple. Before we really get started today, why don't you take a moment and share what your role is in the Age 3 to Grade 3 initiative for St. Lucie Public Schools. Mary, why don't you start for us?
Okay. As you said, I'm the Early Childhood Coordinator, which means I get to work with a lot of different people. And Tony Loop and the Early Learning Coalition Resource Specialist, Deb LaBella, have been phenomenally welcoming, and we're working really closely with all of them to support our private providers. And then Myrna Rodriguez at Head Start and all of her directors and fabulous educational resource specialists too are allowing us to help support their teachers and their students in the classrooms. And then we also get to work with everybody at the district office through Grade 3 is where we stop. But all our curriculum department and our student services personnel, all the folks who help with the social, emotional, behavioral issues with our students. It's really a great position that I have because I get to interact with all the professionals who are impacting student achievement.
And Cassie?
And I work with the VPK program, or the Voluntary Pre-Kindergarten Program, in our public schools. I get to support our VPK teachers and children and with instructional support, behavior support, anything that they need. Basically, I get to help them. So it's a really great job to be able to help and influence a lot of children and teachers, as well as I help oversee the program to make sure that we do all the things that we need to do to have a smooth and successful program.
And I've had the grand opportunity to be a part of some of the professional development opportunities that you both have provided to our VPK teachers, and it's been quite a wonderful experience. And I know you both listen very carefully to teachers and understand what the needs are for professional development so that we can enhance the learning opportunities in our classrooms. What are some of the things that the teachers have been sharing with you that they are in need of gaining more information on, that they are interested in learning from each other about?
Well, this year we are launching a new curriculum. We have Splash into Pre-K in our public schools. So the teachers have definitely expressed that they would like some professional development of how to incorporate the curriculum in their classrooms to help make sure that the kids are meeting the standards of Florida for 4-year-olds, as well as they really have shown a lot of express that they really would like to have some hands-on experiences and field trips and bringing some real-life experiences to the children in the classrooms.
Those authentic experiences really do a great deal for setting schema as far as what they need to attach to for their future learnings in grades K1, 2, 3 on up through 12 and beyond. So very interesting. Now I know that you're both very, very great planners. You put a lot of effort into what you do to make sure that what is delivered is of quality. So what are your plans right now to address some of these needs?
You're a much better planner than I am, so go ahead. You start.
Okay. Every other month, we are planning on providing teachers in the public school VPKs as well as the private providers in our community with make and take opportunities, which are professional development sessions that the teachers come in, and we plan hands-on engaging activities that the teachers learn about, and they leave with those activities to bring back to their classroom ready to go the next day.
And we are, for the purposes of this show, we're really focusing on our pre-K. I know that Mandy Rowland and Dee Dee Campbell and Liz Pruitt, and they've got a lot of things that they're doing with the K-3 too, but today we're really going to talk about what we're doing with our pre-K folks. With the Head Start folks, we have a lot of state-mandated professional development, and we have a lot of things that they just have to do for compliance purposes as well. So we're really working closely with Head Start and the Early Learning Coalition resource specialists to provide additional PD on science and social studies in the content areas that normally they don't get because they're so inundated with the assessment and new mandates and the curriculum and things that they have to do for compliance purposes. But the feedback from especially the Head Start folks are, give us more ideas on how to incorporate science ideas and social studies ideas and all those things in the arts. And we're going to talk a little bit more about that. That's going to be the focus of our conference this year. But getting more content-related professional development to our teachers is really where they're asking for a lot this year, and that's where we're going to go.
And in that planning, I know that you sort of look at backwards design, because while we're right now talking about pre-K, knowing what the expectations are for entering kindergarten, moving into first, second, third, and beyond is really something that we take a close look at, and getting that foundation in place so that children come to school ready to learn is so very important. Now, you mentioned some of the work that you do with our other curriculum specialists in K through 12. That too is something that I've noticed. We've got a lot of articulation, a lot of sharing of information, and with that sharing, some focus group discussions have led us to really understand and appreciate the fact that teachers appreciate and want to do more learning from each other. And I know that some teachers have shared with you some interest they have in collaborating with their role-alike teachers. Go into detail about some of those opportunities that we're going to have.
Yes. Every other month, on the months that we're not doing the make and take, we're going to provide teachers with opportunities to come in and collaborate together. We have teachers who expressed that they would like to share how they use technology in their classroom to help teach the standards and connect it with the curriculum and what the kids are currently learning, as well as most of our teachers have been keeping portfolios to show student growth. And we have teachers who have shared that they would like to come in and see other teachers' ideas of what they're doing to keep the portfolios and how they're documenting what the kids are learning and how they know that they're showing gains.
And go ahead.
Well, a lot of our teachers too, there's so many fabulous things going on in the classroom, and we have so many things to share, and I'll brag on Eleanor Hall at George W. Truett Head Start Center. She, for the farm, at the farm, in the city, in the country theme, turns her whole entire classroom into a farm, and there's unbelievable parent involvement. She has centers set up, they make butter, they feed the pigs, and there's so much rich language development going on during these things. Those are the things that we want to get into classrooms, do more videotaping and sharing of those ideas, because yes, they have a curriculum, yes, they have the standards, and our pre-K folks do have to teach 102 different standards across the different domains, and she's one of them who does a fabulous job of bringing the themes to life and the curriculum to life for kids. And well, you talk about absolutely everybody engaged, no off-task behaviors, no any kind of behavior difficulties in that classroom, because the kids are, we can't take them all to the farm every day, but she brings the farm to them, and that's just one example, but that's really where we want, and the teachers have said, we have so many wonderful things to share. And I will go up to kindergarten and brag on our kindergarten folks just one time, because we did do flickers training with our kindergarten teachers, and instead of me saying this is what you need to do and this is how you could do the observation, let's talk about what you guys do in the first 30 days. And for 2 hours, the kindergarten teachers just shared ideas and they just kept saying, we just want more opportunity like this just to meet with each other, because sometimes you're in your classroom and you get so busy with what you have to do on a day-to-day basis. And so we heard them, and we just really want to make sure that they're sharing it, because the wealth of information in our kindergarten classrooms is unbelievable. And I left learning a lot more than they did, I'm sure, after those sessions.
And we do progress monitor a great deal, and you mentioned the term flickers. Now, we in education know what that is. How about if you give a little bit more detail to what the flickers assessment tells us as far as instruction goes?
I certainly will. Flickers is the kindergarten readiness screener. So all of our kindergarten students have to, it's a statute that we have to do a readiness screener on them. So there's a literacy component, there's observational assessment. And so it is looking at more than just literacy. While that's important, it also is looking at social emotional domains, content knowledge, math domains, scientific thinking, those sorts of things, because getting like I said, there's 102 standards across those domains that our teachers have to be responsible for. And just knowing the letters and the sounds is not even the most critical piece. That's just a really, very tiny, tiny part. So the flickers gives us an idea on how well our kindergarten kids are coming to kindergarten. Even though we have to be ready for all kids, there is a a movement where we're looking at kindergarten readiness for the students as well.
Looking at the whole child.
Yes.
Absolutely, because learning is the cornerstone is our literacy skills, like you said, knowing your ABCs and things like that, but there's so much more, so many more opportunities for our children to grow and learn and to get ready for the world, that we're going to be experiencing. It's not like the world that we grew up in. A lot of exciting changes going on. And you gave a quick reference a moment ago to our early childhood conference. We've had tremendous success and wonderful participation over the last few years with the Early Childhood Conference, and this year's planning is already in place. I know you guys are, pulling in a lot of people to help with that. Talk to us about what we can expect with this year's Early Childhood Conference.
Oh my gosh, we love this event. And first of all, thanks to Fort Pierce Central for hosting it. It's just a wonderful venue. It's going to be January 31st at Fort Pierce Central from 9 to 3, and it's for pre-K teachers, directors, principals. What we have a keynote speaker from Lakeshore, and he's fabulous. He's coming back again, Ron Mall. The theme this year is creative expression. So we're going into the cognitive development domain where we're looking at the arts, dramatic play, music and movement, those sorts of things. And again, we don't pay our presenters because we have breakout sessions, but the presenters are our experts from our district office, from Head Start, from Early Learning Coalition, community members, some of our vendors, our sponsors. They send in sessions, and we approve the ones that are really, really high quality. And we had last year 180 teachers attend. Our goal this year is 200. But it's just a day of learning and sharing, and the vendors give away fabulous door prizes, and and they also have we have an area set up during the cafeteria before and after where they can look at some of the new products that our vendors have as well. It's a wonderful, wonderful experience, and that so many people go into putting this on. The thank yous could go on for the rest of the show.
And it's open to more than just our public school participants. It's open to others. How do people register for this?
Samantha Davis, our wonderful webmaster, has this wonderful system, and we have a link, and they can go on and they get to pick the sessions that are most interesting to them, and then on a first come first served basis we fill up the slots. And we had, I think, 8 different breakout sessions in the morning and 8 in the afternoon, and they were all pretty much full.
Filled, yes.
Filled, yes, last year.
All right. And then I know too that you're always welcoming new sponsors to help support that. So same contact information if someone is listening and they are interested in seeing if they can be a supportive partner. That would be the same avenue of communication.
Absolutely. We have fabulous sponsors, and we couldn't do it without them because we haven't been charging the participants to come. They can get CEUs, and they would have to pay for that if they wanted to do that, but we wanted to be able to offer this because they're giving up their Saturday to come and stay with us. We didn't want to charge them, but we couldn't do it without the sponsors. And in addition to the people who are actually paying to help support it at Fort Pierce Central, the Cobra Cafe, Peggy Ash, fabulous. She does the lunch, and last year we had a flood day the day before, so she didn't have any of her help. She went in that day before and did all the prep all by herself. She was just amazing. Love that lady. And then the custodial staff at Fort Pierce Central, they're fabulous. We give them our early childhood shirts, the conference shirts. When we get there, they throw them on, and everything is whatever you can do to help support Terrence O'Leary and his instructional team. They give up their Saturdays to come and make sure that all the audiovisual equipment is working. We have board members come. Debbie Hawley was front and center for most of it. Carrie's been there, although you left us last year. Make sure you're here on January 31st this year, not to put you on the spot. We have a wonderful support from all our people at the district office, and Cassie has been instrumental in there's a lot of planning that goes into a lot of prep. We're going to miss Cindy Parrish. She did a lot of all the art things and making everything so beautiful, but it's just been a fabulous event. But yes, we do need more people to sponsor, and you can come and you can display what it is that you sell or support, anything that has to do with early childhood. And if you are interested in doing a session, you could just, we'll send that link out too, and you can propose a session. The more the merrier.
Well, and listening to the wide array of individuals who help support, goes back to the fact that we are in a very collaborative mode of making sure that we support all of our children, especially our very young learners. And one of the things that I do know you do is you vet the proposals to make sure that they are on target, they are matching the standards and meeting the needs of our teachers and our children. So that's a wonderful thing. Yep. All right, well, we look forward to another great year, and we know that 200 is your goal for this year, and
That's
I'm
right. So sign up,
sure
everybody.
you will match that goal. All right, so funding is something that we also need, that you have worked to create great partnerships for, because while we do have funding coming in to support various programs, we are always in need of more for education, and this is something where many people are very, very giving of their dollars. So who is a good sponsor? Who is a force behind the work that you're doing?
I'll talk about Jim and team.
Our make and takes and also some of our sessions at the conference are made available each year through a grant that we write, and we've been lucky enough to receive it through the Ed Foundation. Through that grant, we're able to provide the teachers with those materials that they leave with each month with the make and takes to use in their classroom with their kids, as well as some of the materials that teachers receive at the sessions at the Early Childhood Conference each year.
The Education Foundation is very in tune with the needs of the district and the initiatives that we are driving depth to. Work very closely with our curriculum folks to make sure that the efforts that they fund are in alignment with what it is that our children need to know. For example, you mentioned how this one is really focused on the arts. And as we've had a focus on the STEM initiative, science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, this year we are moving into the STEAM, putting that arts within the STEM, because it is so vital to make that connection. So the work that you all are doing is supporting that effort as well, and it's just a real nice interaction between our Ed Foundation, our needs of the schools, and our needs of the teachers in order to support our students. So all very well connected there. The speakers that are involved this year, you mentioned the gentleman from Lakeshore. The focus of his topic will be?
Oh, well, he hasn't sent it in yet. We're just taking this in, but he brings it to life. Everything that he does is, you don't have to have a lot of stuff. You don't have to have a lot of curriculum. If you know the standards and you know students, make it engaging, make it fun, and infuse movement and music and laughter. And if the teacher's having a great time teaching, and the students are going to have a great time, and he's just infectious. There's actually two, though, from Lakeshore. Ron has been our keynote speaker, but Dan is also going to be coming and doing a presentation. And what's nice about this is both of them could command $2,000 a day to come and speak, and they don't charge us anything. We will purchase some things from Lakeshore to go along with their sessions. Last year, Dan was doing things where they had things with parachutes and different weights and how gravity works with the weights and the parachutes. And it's wonderful that they give their time, and the money that we would be spending on a speaker goes to materials that go in the goodie bags that the teachers leave with. So the teachers always leave with really nice things that go along with the sessions, and that they can take and infuse into their classroom that next Monday morning.
Right. That is wonderful, because having the resources to put into place what you've learned is a tremendous way to keep that motivation going for working with our children. Now, just to sort of get an eye on the scope of where our early childhood, specifically the VPK classrooms, exist. Within our school system, we have public, and then of course you work outside. Number-wise, can you help the audience to understand the number of VPK classrooms that we have and how we work together there?
You want to start with the public schools?
Sure.
Okay.
In St. Lucie County Public Schools, we have 18 VPK classrooms at 13 different schools.
All right. And then stretching out into the community.
Well, we also have the ESE pre-K, and we work very closely with Angela Guerin. And are they in? That's terrible. I should know how many classrooms there are. There's not as many, but there are, I think, at least 14 ESE pre-K classrooms, and that's one of our focuses this year too. We've worked closely with them, but we really want to get more inclusionary activities and more communication going back and forth. And a lot of the ESE pre-K teachers have come to our make and takes to our conference too, because they work on the same standards. They have to do some accommodations and modifications for their students, but we really want to do even more in that area. And but then we also have all the Head Start centers. They're all our partners. The partnership that with us is funded, or my position is funded through Houghton Mifflin Harcourt, and we started out with about 70 private partners, because this wasn't a mandatory thing. They could come aboard with us if they wanted to, and we have about 70. I think there's over 102 private pre-K sites in St. Lucie County. The ones that we work with specifically and go in and provide professional development and coaching and mentoring right on site is about down to 58 right now. Unfortunately, we had a few that closed. But it's large. We have a lot of different people coming in. And on a positive note, all the stuff that's going on with our pre-K folks, for the first time ever, I've shared with you this a number of times, state averages. St. Lucie County is above state average with our kindergarten readiness rates when it comes to the literacy fair piece from last year. So again, that's not the whole child, but when we're at state average with the rest of it was the ECHOS piece last year, with then looking at science, social studies, all those sorts of things. We're at state average there and above state average in literacy. So all the work that's going on in those classrooms is making a big difference.
It is making a huge difference, and we are very data rich in St. Lucie. One of the things that I'm also very proud to tout is the fact that we touch now 75% of the children who are coming into kindergarten prior to them crossing the threshold of a kindergarten classroom. And that is absolutely fantastic as it relates to the potential for their success, because the more we can do to enhance their lives in the area of literacy early on does have a very positive impact once they do get into the classroom. So any other positive data points you'd like to share?
Well, yes. There's also a thing called providers on probation. So if your readiness rates are below 70, then you have to go on an improvement plan. And there's a number of different reasons why you could become a provider on probation. But an exact number, when we started off, there were about 32 providers on probation. This past year, we had 14 of our partners. And our goal is single digits this year and to get it down to zero for eventually. In the next 2 years, we want to have nobody on probation. And so that's been a drastic decrease. And Head Start went from 7 providers on probation to 1 last year. So kudos to Myrna and all your team, because that's just a phenomenal change.
That is, and there is a lot of accountability to make sure that we are doing the very best that we can to provide for our early learners. So great job from all of our parties working together. We have just a few more minutes. Are there any closing remarks that you would like to share in order to make sure that our viewing audience is aware of the great things going on, how they can support, how parents can become partners in the lives of children?
Call me, text me, email me, any way you want to get involved, because I didn't even get to mention everything that we're doing with the health department. And because we know how critical health is with the kids, if they are hurt or sick or absent, it's tough to learn. So the health department's doing fabulous things. We've got wonderful collaborations going with them. All our student services department about early screening and diagnosis of maybe some medical issues that we need to be working on with kids. Work really closely with our psychologist, our speech language pathologist. The more the merrier. This is everybody's involved in early childhood. So any way that you want to collaborate with us or offer services or support, we're all ears.
And two, it's important to make sure that children are in attendance every day. Just as in our K-12 classrooms, VPK, it's so important that children are there, that they're in attendance, that they're hearing, they're learning, they're experiencing, and that the teachers have an opportunity to build those very positive relationships with the children. So, that is just as important as the other elements to their learning in VPK. Well, I happen to know, Dr. Hufstetter, that you are quite a fan of Notre Dame. And in the same way that a coach is on the field making sure that his players are ready for a great season, you are our coach for early learning. And I know that the passion that you have and the plans that you have to make sure that our efforts continue, the monitoring that's in place to make sure that we're doing absolutely the most important things to help impact our children. You've got that playbook, and you're going to be making sure that you are cheering us on to success not only this year but for years to come. We have made great strides in early education, and it is going to have a significant impact on our K-12 system as we continue to move through the years. So I do thank you very much for your efforts. Ms. Dillard, you are in and out of the classrooms every day and giving feedback to teachers, making sure that we are doing what we need to do to meet all of our state expectations and standards. So there are two great things going on. Appreciate your efforts. For our viewing audience, we invite you to join us for future editions of Eye on St. Lucie. During these sessions, we're going to be exploring topics that focus on student achievement, safe and caring schools, teacher recruitment and retention, and high-quality instruction. If you've not already done so, I invite you to download the St. Lucie Public School app on your mobile device. Here you can follow the news and happenings of St. Lucie County, athletic events, calendars, parent resources, educator resources, and I invite you to follow us on Twitter and Facebook to stay up to date on the happenings within your St. Lucie Public Schools.